Norco is a point-and-click adventure game developed by Geography of Robots. Set in the futuristic titular town of Norco, Louisiana, it sees you in the role of Kay, who has returned home after years of wandering throughout the US following the death of her mother. When she gets home, she's greeted by the family's AI robot, Millions, to be told that her brother Blake has gone missing. Kay resolves to pick up the pieces that remain of her childhood home and ventures out into her hometown to track down her brother. This is fairly well-worn ground for a story: find your brother, salvage your home. But then Norco goes and tosses you headfirst into a densely layered magical realist sci-fi tale with religious cults, oil companies, conspiracy theories, aliens, sentient AIs and space rockets. Make no mistake, this is a sci-fi game to its core, but one which goes so deep into the genre that it reinvents the tropes even as it fulfills them. Alongside the usual themes of climate change, industrial capitalism and slavery, Norco uses the traditional sci-fi trappings to delve into intensely human themes such as loss, familial strife, poverty and regret. The town of Norco is a hollow, soulless place, an area that has been bled dry by the surrounding oil company Shield, to the point that whatever hasn't been stripped to the bone for a profit has sunk into the industrial swampland that dominates the landscape. It's also, as you'll find when you start exploring, populated by a load of complete weirdos. After all, who else chooses to stay in a town where the land and the air are toxic and anything of any worth is immediately taken? And it's here, in this assembly of nutcases that Norco calls a population, that the game world really comes to life. Norco has easily one of the most well fleshed out casts I've seen in a long time. Every single character has a backstory that makes them seem real and that drives their, at times, childish actions. There's a robot Millions who showed up with your mother one day and won't speak of its past. There's an eco-terrorist called Lucky who you're never quite sure if he has a cause he's fighting for or if he just likes blowing shit up. The local PI constantly talks of how well he's doing and how he's one of the few remaining good guys, but his office is so run down that the toilet is next to his desk and he won't tell you about a break-in at your house until you buy him around on some fries. One of my favourites is a local called Keith who's setting up a boxing themed news website called Keith's Corner in what has got to be one of the most hilariously wrong-headed endeavours in gaming history because, you see, Keith is a complete fucking idiot. He's a gloriously stupid character and that's what makes him real. He doesn't have any insight or even anything interesting to say. He just wants to say something to make it seem like he's got a handle on things when in fact he's just as clueless as everyone else. And that, in a nutshell, is how Norco manages to sell the more fantastical elements of the story. It presents them straight up as matter-of-factly as it can. The characters react to these as though they were mundane, almost trivial things to consider. So when the guy you've been helping on a job share app finds out that the app is run from a warehouse by a giant eagle with alien machinery for entrails, reacts to this news by shrugging his shoulders and saying, I see a lot of weird stuff in this app, it doesn't break immersion. It reinforces it because this guy's got other shit to deal with and he needs the money to keep the lights on and his family fed. This is a result of the short-termism that poverty inflicts upon people. That's why nobody seems to want to leave Norco even though it's poison. They're all just trying to make it to tomorrow. I also need to point out that the writing is second to none. I'm serious, this may be the best written game for years. It may be better than even Disco Elysium or Kentucky Route Zero. I mean, it's definitely on par with both of those classics. The story is split up into two main branches: Kay's search for her mother and Catherine, Kay's mother, her final moments before her death. So telling the story in this two-pronged manner helps keep everything fresh and always presents you with new backgrounds and interactions. The descriptive text is almost poetic in places, and the dialogue is written as authentically as possible given that the writer is actually from the area depicted in the game, and it contains some of the funniest scenes I've read in ages. It's a testament to how good the writing and setting is of Norco that it's taken me this long to mention the stunning pixel art. I've been constantly amazed by pixel artists in recent years, and this is no different. The scenes of complete poverty and desolation are so detailed and perfectly capture the despair that hangs over the town like a thick fog. Each scene brilliantly conveys the brooding atmosphere put forward in the writing, and some of the more surreal scenes are striking in their beauty and detail. On top of all of this, the soundtrack is excellent. Truly fucking excellent. It's so good I wound up buying it. In conclusion, will you like Norco? I really think you will. Norco is an intelligent, evocative story of a fucked world and its inhabitants. It tackles themes head-on that are rarely even touched upon in gaming. And that's not just in terms of its portrayal of a community buckling under capitalism, but also its compassionate, thoughtful portrayals of people on the margins. That, even in the most desolate places, there's always hope and the warmth of human connection to help us find meaning in our lives. As the game itself puts it, with one of the best lines ever, even the synthetic has its time and place. Buy Norco. I genuinely think this is the game of the year, or one of the game of the years. If this will be a great test for you. If you have a game reviewer that you like reading, and they don't have this on their best games of 2022 list, you can just ignore everything they have to say from here on in, because they're fucking idiots if it's not on here. Norco is brilliant.